Okay, so now we have the second part where we're speaking with Matt. So the reason why I asked Matt to, apart from testing, because we need to actually test if this works, but there's another reason why I asked Matt to join me on this podcast, and that is because although he's never been to Japan, but he does a thing called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Jiu-Jitsu, as Brazilians say, and that is well, it's kind of a Japanese export to Brazil and back, and from based on what I heard recently, well, obviously I don't live in Japan anymore, but just speaking to some martial arts people in Japan, so apparently nowadays the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the most popular type of Jiu-Jitsu in Japan. So it came from Japan to Brazil and then back. So yeah, so it's quite fascinating, and I wanted to ask Matt, what did the what did the Brazilian do to judo that they make it so popular?
I I would say they made it better for and easier on the body for middle-aged people. So basically, less falling, more groundwork. So that would be the main difference, at least for me. The thing with the stand-up game and the throws are also basically they weren't as good as it as the Japanese or I don't know, English wrestlers, and also the gyms were kind of small. So like when you have a room full of people, you cannot always do takedowns or throws, so you focus more on the groundwork, and also without throws and takedowns, it's less damaging to the body in long term.
Mm.
And of course, there was a big focus on guard game and like the defensive aspect of the jiu-jitsu. Like,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's also the culture, because it kind of judo as it came to Brazil, and then it sort of became Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then it did kind of lose some of the formality maybe it had
yeah,
in Japan, and kind of it did collect a bit of this Brazilian sort of attitude, or this kind of
yeah. It kind of,
friendliness, or I don't know, openness or something like that.
yeah. I would say capoeira was kind of a part of it. Uh, which because like the Brazilians did it, and like technical stand-ups and like a little bit of the acrobatic stuff is like that what capoeira left there. Like
Like the
that's their thing.
flying, you mean the flying techniques,
Could be,
the
but
acrobatic stuff, right?
yeah.
Like a,
I mean, the most used thing is the technical stand-up. That would be like the biggest thing.
yeah, because in judo or like jujitsu, you would normally get on your knee and then from there stand
Yeah,
up. While with this one, you kind of put your bum up and your head down, and then
yeah,
yeah. I don't know how many people will know what technical stand up is, but yeah. Well,
yeah,
maybe we can put a footage of technical stand up. But also, so you told me at some point that also there was like some of the names of the techniques. For example, you mentioned Ezekiel choke, which is
yeah.
actually Sode Gurumajime in judo. So that one you mentioned it was named by someone.
Yeah, it was a guy called Ezekiel something or somebody as Ezekiel. I don't remember. It was his first or surname, but he was like he caught everybody with this kind of joke, and then basically when they speak about it, oh, did you get caught in that Ezekiel thing? And yeah, it stayed. Also like Kimura is nice
Hmm.
example.
Yeah, which is Kimura is the Gyaku, the Garami, which Masaiko Kimura liked to do.
Yeah, great health.
Okay, so but another kind of thing which I wanted to ask you about is the where I see the difference is the like the belt system and the the tests. So in I'm not sure what actually the belts were originally in Brazil when they started.
I don't know. I think at the beginning it was like white belt student, blue belt instructor, or something like that.
That's quite
And
interesting. They had the blue belt because I think there was I was not able. I was trying to Google it now, but I couldn't find it. But I remember I read somewhere that in when they started in when Jigoro Kano started these belts thing, which is kind of rather recent. I don't know, 120 years history maybe or 130. That they had in the beginning, they had well, they had the white and the black. But I think I read somewhere there was a blue belt as well, which is quite interesting. So I don't know if that was somehow. I was not able to find the information to confirm it now, but if anyone if anyone else knows, then please comment. But that's quite interesting that they had blue also in Brazil because they
yeah,
actually
but
did the normal colored belts. They started in like 1920s and later or something like that.
yeah, I'm not sure about the source
Hmm.
from about the white and blue belt. So yeah, it could be different.
Hmm. Okay, cool. And also you have these um, the kind of exams or the gradings in in judo and different sort of traditional is a complicated word, so let's not use it, and different jiu-jitsu styles where you have some kind of you have a test where you have to perform that particular part of the curriculum, and then that is the test. You pass the test and you get your rank or belt or whatever it is. But in Brazilian jiu-jitsu you don't have this kind of thing, so that's kind of interesting if you could explain how that
Yeah,
works.
so the belts are kind of uh, it's like an individual thing a little bit more because not everybody is good at everything at this like same point of the jiu-jitsu journey. So somebody is better at top, somebody is better at bottom, and those differences like could be really big, and like they don't change quickly. So if somebody is really good on, I don't know, for example, on top, he probably can be a blue belt with like some knowledge gaps, or those things happen. Mostly the belt should like show the experience of the guy who is wearing them. So yeah, but it's kind of individual. Like the best thing is to compete, and you can see like how you're going against like people similar experience, and that's probably like
But basically it's not something you kind of learn to perform and then you just show it, but you need to actually show to your instructor in your daily in your kind of everyday's training. You need to show you basically he knows what level you are, and then he gives you
yeah.
whatever the belt when you are ready. And then also you should be able to kind of uh, do well with with the ones who have lower grades than
Yeah,
you, right?
that's a good thing how to see who is how much experience, because like nobody can be good at every
Hmm.
move. I like to say that it's you should be able like not defend yourself but like figure out the situation. It's not necessarily always the same technique for everybody for the same situation. So I mean,
Yeah.
also like kind of there are some like time like period between some belts which like again shows basically how long you do it and how experienced you are. And it's also kind of like every instructor is different. So there are like world famous instructors who give blue belt after maybe a half year. And the thing is like for them is blue belt somebody who can handle himself against a non-trained person, which is kind of like, yeah, that's how it should be probably. I think that's a good thing. And then you can say like, okay, purple belt is somebody who can deal with a trained person, or like who can deal with a blue belt.
Or
So,
skip the warm up.
yeah. So like that's also a good thing. And but then if they give the blue belt earlier, they wait a little bit longer for the purple belt.
Yeah. So, but kind of it's more so what I was trying to kind of compare or say that it's more difficult for things like having people, which I sometimes see in judo or in jiu-jitsu, where you have some people who kind of they don't come for training and they come before the grading and they just learn to perform the techniques, they do them and they not come again. So actually in application, you know, they did not really able to do the techniques, but they just kind of come for the belt. There are some people I've met quite a few of these, but actually that's not really possible in this setup you were talking about.
No, that like one thing is against the exams because people tend to like learn for the exams and that's all like they want to pass the test. They have some certificate or something or different belt, and that's enough for them.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I want to ask you a few more things, but I have a meeting, so we'll need to reconnect in a bit.
Okay,
So thank you, and I'll call you a bit later.
thank you.